Shora and welcome friends and explorers from around the world to celebrate 25 years of Myst. Why do we want to celebrate Myst? I asked myself this question before I started planning in April. I remembered how I found Myst and from then on eagerly awaited every new adventure in this series. Without Myst none of you's world be here. We are deeply immersed in the history of the Ni. I think of Larry Lede and his instructive caravan tours. I think of Shorutan Rain, who teaches the interested peoples the language and number system of the Ni with great commitment. I think of Rer Tertan and his story night, that bring you the story of the kings. I also think of Uru tunes and the many DJs who fill the caves with music. I think of Mirphak, Magic Yoda, and Mr. Magic who give you so many wonderful events. And I think of all these explorers who have stayed true to the caves all the time. We are a breathing, vibrant community which would not exist without Myst, Cyan, and his genius minds. This event shall be a thank you to all, connected with the hope that the end will never be written. We, the dancers to music from Myst, Riven, Exile, Revelation, Uru, End of Ages, Abduction, and Complete Chronicles, now have fun at the show of the Nob Dance Group. The first time in the channel World of Myst.
Hey, welcome. So, I'm Zandy. I probably know more about why you're here than you do. Don't worry about it. You felt drawn here, just like the others. Now, I'm not really here to give you answers, just to give you help and get you started. She's left a message for you in the cleft. Listen to it well. Follow her. Find the journeys. And then enter the tree. Oh, and check with me if you need help.
It follows Riven with Gain and the Moieties.
Oh yes, not in the need, they won't understand. Once again, the stream in the cleft has begun to flow. It was dry for so long. The water is flowing in from the desert. The storm is coming. Have you heard of the city? The deep city, the ancient Uru? Where there was power to right worlds. For thousands of years, the city lived beneath the surface. Keeper of the secret, keeper of the power, keeper of the ages. Always keeping. The city grew proud, and then it died. The water flows where it wills. It seeks its own path uncontrolled, except that it flows downward, always downward. Denis, the city of ages, of other worlds, died. But now it breathes again, it awaits. Some will seek that destination, but you should seek the journey. It's as a fine tapestry, complex beyond comprehension, but now torn. We will show you remnants, pieces of the tapestry, pieces of the journey. Find these remnants, these journeys. 7. 7 in each age. 7 here in the desert. Consider it a quest. No, a request. Worship. The water flows downward, and there it pools and collects, and finally, once again, it reaches the roots, and the tree begins to grow again. I am Yisha. My parents brought me to this place. We will bring you.
It followed the happy end of exile.
Your journey has begun. You can't imagine how these small things affect the future, but someday you will return. Many paths have brought me to this place. The path of my great-grandmother, bringer of destruction. The path of my grandfather, the rebuilder of pride. The path of my mother, writer of dreams, and of my father, my dear father, the caretaker of burdens. And I knew that at the end of such great paths must lay a great purpose. I returned to the cleft to find it. The cleft. The fissure in the desert, the wound in the earth, the path to things beneath the surface. It was there I sought to find my purpose. It was from there I came to know the dead underground city of Denis. These Denis people who are now gone came thousands of years ago to the shelter of the cavern to return to leastness. They found solace in their smallness in the dark. And so did I. But light is powerful in the darkness. Many stories were there for the Denis to learn from, but they didn't hear them. The ancient tales of Tuat's Ocean, or of course the story of King Sholat and his brothers, which even speaks of gardens and death. But no one truly listened. The garden ages of the proud are beautiful, but they are built on the backs of the least. The ages like Kimo and Gira are a sampling of the playthings of Denis. With disregard, the least were stripped from their homes. The lives in those ages were consumed and the Denis gave nothing back. And whatever is not given back will be taken. And now to these pillars. These 4 pillars around you are the very being of the Bahro. You must take them. They will bring a great treasure to Relto, your age, the island in the clouds. Relto will be their keeper for only a brief time.
The Guardians of Serenia from Revelation.
Let me tell you of King Karath. Dare I speak ill of him? One of the great kings, but yet he was the maker of the proud, for it was his system of guilds that served as the foundation of power and corruption. The powerful need control, fortresses and garrisons to guard their power, and soon the guarding is yet another thing to be proud of. Layers within layers built to preserve their ages and their pride from the weak and least who might attack from without. And yet it is from within that most nations fall. And so the mighty garrisons of Denis now stand vacant. The journeys are complete. Now take the final pillar. Take it, but hear all I've said. It's the whispers and murmurs that reveal the simple truths. You hold the precious soul of a Barrow in your age, in your hand. Such things are not meant to be held. Do what I do. I have learned things, seen things, written things they never thought possible. I have seen the real treasures that are protected by the petty fences of their rules. I have found the precious gold buried deep beneath the weighty mountains of their laws. This is my journey too. I am returning what has been given. These years I've spent, this path I've traveled, this gift I've been given, this purpose weighs on me, my burden, the legacy of my father Atris. For we are shaping Denis. We will mold what comes after. We cannot keep the power and the pride from ruining this new Denis, but we can prepare those who will read between the lines. The least are returning. The stream in the cleft is returning. Life is returning. The fissure is returning. The circle will be completed when you give back what you have taken. You must return.
Now we see the DRC discovering Garrison.
You return again. Return to hear more. Return for a third pillar. It's an interesting cycle, this coming and going, giving and taking. Returning is what you must do. For you have torn in half the very being of one of the least. You have heard their pain. Don't falter. The bones of Guildmaster Kadish speak louder than words. His bones are the bones of Denis. He clung to the teachings of good King Negan, who required good citizens to cling to their treasure. This Kadish you have seen would not give back, would not return, would not let go. He had long been one of the wealthiest of the Denis, owning more than he could possibly make use of. He built Aegis to protect the extra, and when the fall came, he clung to his possessions over all else. And so you see only death in his vault. Extravagant death. It is an image of Denis. The people of Denis didn't return easily. They only would take until all was taken from them in the Great Returning, the fall that destroyed them. Denis fell only a few hundred years ago. All of it was removed. And my journey was similar. I could write things that no Denis had ever dreamed of. My writing smashed barriers held as absolutes for millennia. I could change things, I could move things. I could control things. I learned beyond my parents, I learned beyond all. I wrote ages against any challengers, masters of the art, and they were beaten. I took all that I could hold. Only death can conquer pride so strong. For the Denis and for Yusha, it was death that moved me to return. All died. All but the least. The unproud. The Bahro considered themselves as dead already. And so they continued to watch Denis, always ready to give more away. And now they will return.
The End of Ages in Lakian.
Peace to you, mover of the least. 7 more journeys have moved you closer. I was seduced while in Denis. My humble darkness lasted only a short time before I began to bask in what I could do, what I could write. My gift, my path, the knowledge of my father and the dreams of my mother pierced a hole in the darkness, in the weakness. I was aware of my power and I was proud. Whole worlds at my fingertips. It was the same with the Denis, the same cycle. Light opens the darkness, it takes, it uses, and it keeps. The Denis found power in these books you used to travel. They were a gift from the Maker. These ages you traveled to were their ages. Remarkable places giving life and taking life. This shadow came over them, this shadow of light, for it was in their enlightenment that they considered themselves better than the least. And we were sad for them. Can you feel the Denis there? You've touched the remnants, the remains of their pride and power. Did you see the hidden caves and the cages? It is where the proud would keep the least. The least were only animals, after all. Animals that could blink. They could be put to work or play. They could ease the burden of the proud and fill their free time with entertainment. Quietly as Denis slept, their lives were taken because the proud make the rules. This wasn't the first time such a blasphemy was part of Denis. The histories whisper of it, like Fatuk the Acher or King Asenlef. And even in this age, it may not be the last. The writing hides what's between the lines. These journeys are to help you travel between. The Barrow will be returned. These pillars are our journey. The return of the pillars is the return of the Barrow. The bringing away and the bringing back.
And now, welcome and abduction.
ending has been written. You've done all that has been asked. You've traveled the full circle. You have returned to the cleft through the fissure. You swam among the stars and saw the remnants of previous journeys. You have returned, and the pillars were returned, and now one more of the Barrow, the least, has been returned to Denis. You don't need to understand what that means, only that the hand of the Maker has set it in motion. Now the circle is complete, and the tree has begun to grow again. The path is now open, and so the symbol of the journey must change. Now the beginning is tied to the end. Now you can go where you wish. The restoration of Denis awaits. The deep city breathes. Uru again. And I will be concerned with other things. The least are becoming greater. They will now also affect the restoration. Perhaps not the way others had planned. You've learned about the pride of Denis. The great writers of worlds were infected with pride that became a cancer. It grew quietly beneath the surface, but it grew until Denis could live no more. But those things have been told. You understand it well, I think. Let us end this cycle with rewards before we start the next cycle. Relto, the high place. Your age now. It was the first age I wrote, a gift for my parents, and now much more. It reminds me of another home, another place. I even placed the library in the place it belongs. But Relto will change. It will be your soul, showing what you are. Only I could write Relto. It's beyond what the Denis could accomplish. Keep it. And I've given you clothing that represents your journey. Wear this to show others what side you've taken, when sides are taken. When you wear it, you will tell all that you side with us. With Yisha, with the Barrow. It will not always be easy. And another gift is here, a link to the cleft here in Tomana. You haven't been able to return here, but now you can. This book will take a special place on your shelf. This place is not meant to be shared. Return here alone when you wish to remember the cycle of things.
Uru, the deep city, tired in his reisen, still waiting for the restoration. Thanks to the boys and girls of the Note Dance Group. Many thanks to Mirphak for his support. Thanks to you all for coming. And not least, a big thank you to Cyan for all the wonderful ages. And now you are invited to the dance party with Yoda's wonderful fireworks. Yoda, let's start. This was the 7th show of the Note Dance Group. Now the music will take you a little journey back to the previous dance shows. One or two of you will surely remember the music and at the timid beginnings of the Note Dance Group. Have fun!